What's good? What's good? Another video. Getting caught pretending to be disabled at the Paralympics. Nah, faking being disabled is crazy.
See, Fernando had a problem. He was the head of the Paralympics Committee in Spain, which is the Olympics for people with physical disabilities, but his team was trash. But I need you to listen, because that wasn't quite his problem. You see, the fact that his team was so trash meant that he wasn't getting that much funding for the government, because they give more money to winning teams. But that still wasn't quite his problem. See, the problem was that he was stealing all the money. So the fact that his team was garbage meant that they was messing with his bag. He needed to figure out a way to fix that. And well, it seemed that he just had figured it out. His team start winning back to back to gold medals. Spain was dominating the world in the Paralympics. And y'all know what that means. Bro became basically a millionaire overnight. He starts owning all these properties and all that. All good. Well, not quite. Because Fernando started to get a little greedy. If you haven't guessed by now, Fernando started messing with the line as to what is considered a disability. Somebody could walk in and be like, hey man, my hearing is not that great. He said, you in? He said, no, my hearing is good, but like, no, you in the Olympic. But he wanted more. He kept pushing for the Olympic Committee to add in people with intellectual disabilities to the Paralympics for people with physical disabilities. Why? Because it's harder to determine what an intellectual disability is. For anyone who's seen the movie The Ringer, which fun fact is actually a pretty heartfelt movie, you could see how this can happen perfectly. Somebody could just walk in and fake their way. In fact, people have tried this many times. The Olympic Committee said, wow, Fernando, you're a pretty decent guy. Let's do it. Intellectual, Paralympics, let's rock. Fernando said, let's rock. So this time he took it there and decided to screw it and brought real deal hoopers. I want you to guess how many people in here have an intellectual disability.
None of them.
If you guess more than 2, you're wrong. A problem started coming up during their first game. Them boys is hooping. Yeat, dribble, twist inside out, dunking on folk. The referee said, golly, them boys go hoop, ain't it? The coach said, huh? Call a timeout. He said, come here. What's wrong with y'all? They said, what? Coach, we out there hooping. He said, oh, I must got the team with the actual intellectual disability. They said, Coach, what that mean? He said, they mean listen, because I don't want to repeat myself. Look at the score. Tell me the score. They said, we up by 30, Coach. He said, how many points y'all got? And they said, 32. That might mean. He said, you could figure that out when they take you to prison. Anybody else want to answer? He said, oh, the other team got 2 points. Oh, we tripping. He said, if y'all boys don't start hooping like Ben Simmons and playoff James Harden, you finna be hooping with Robert Kelly. Tone it down. I said, all right, Coach, we got you. So they took it down a notch, but still was smashing teams until they got to Russia. And they started facing some fierce competition. Very fierce competition. The score was actually very close, but they still pulled it off and won the game. So they take a victory picture and everybody lives happily ever after. Psych, stupid, because here's where it starts to get wicked. People start looking at the pictures and go, hey, yo, that's my lawyer. So I said, what you mean? Someone said, that is my lawyer. They said, nah, just because he got an intellectual disability, nah, you tripping, man. Don't do that. Other people was like, damn, I don't know much about intellectual disabilities, but I mean, them boys look like they chopping it up. People was like, nah, man, y'all can't say that, bro. Come on. They said, yeah, I guess intellectual disabilities got nothing to do with... Hold on. Stop. No, it ain't that Marco. That's Marco. That's my engineer. He said, no, hold on. This is going too far. Start getting recognized from the pictures left and right. Bro right here, Carlos says, oh nah, I ain't going out like that. Carlos comes out and says, remember when I told y'all I was a writer? The coach says, yeah, you did say that. He said, can you guess what I write for? The coach said, Harry Potter books? He go, nah, in fact, I write for an investigative journalist. Coach go, what you investigate? He go, huh. Carlos comes out snitching. He tells it all. He says when they went to go party, they left the 2 people with the actual intellectual disabilities in the room all night. He says it wasn't just the basketball team. He said track and field. He says swimming. He said ping pong team. He said everybody was straight. blamed it all on Francisco. He said it was all his plan and it all had to do with him. Now Francisco comes out and says, I ain't do nothing. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm too, in his words, big to be looking at stuff like that. It must have been the doctors and stuff. So they do a super long investigation. They strip Spain of all of their medals, and they won like 107 medals. They go to Russia and say, here, Russia, since y'all was so close, we're gonna give them to you. But remember when I told y'all they was so close in score to Spain? They go, Russia, can you prove to us you actually have people with intellectual disabilities? Russia go. They go, okay, do you at least have half the people in your team with intellectual disabilities? Russia go. They're like, Russia, do you got one person with an intellectual disability? Russia go. They go, okay, we gonna give the medals to New Zealand or Australia. New Zealand, Australia won. Does anyone in the Olympics, Paralympics have anyone with intellectual disabilities? Every single team in the Paralympics goes. Olympic Committee goes and immediately takes off the category where people with intellectual disabilities can join in. See, the problem is people can toe the lines with intellectual disabilities. That's why they were separated in the first place. Now, nobody cheated as bad as Francisco and Spain. They had people with dyslexia coming in. Anybody could walk in and say, my reading level kind of sucks a little bit, but I'm sure most of your friends can join that. You see, the problem was that they had no regulation. Each country had their own regulation, but every country also wants to win, right? Now, since every team cheated, the Olympics basically ignored the whole thing. But Francisco was facing actual charges. See, they highlighted the fact that Francisco was a teacher before all this. And as soon as he starts working with the Special Olympics, Paralympics committees, he becomes like a millionaire. Now, Francisco's in court acting an ass, showing zero remorse. He also brings up the investigative journalist, Carlos, from earlier. He says, hey guys, by the way, Carlos was on my team for 2 years, reaping the rewards and the benefits. He said all of a sudden he want to stop taking cash. That makes him the person with the intellectual disability. But he says this in such harsh words that I can't repeat it. But people did take note of that and said, Carlos, you came out when people was getting caught. Carlos said, I was researching. People are like, Well, long story short, Francisco gets charged $5,000. And he gets to stay the president of his committees and keep all his money, all his houses, and all that stuff.
Wait, how does he... Is that corruption? Or is that like... Can he do that? Wait, how can he keep all his property and all his money and only get fined $5,000? So who want to join the Paralympics? Who is intellectually disabled? I'm gonna sign you to a 360. Y'all getting 5%. That's a good deal, ain't it?
Fell on my face, I had to get up on my own. Just be prepared, she'll do you wrong. If you see